All right, in this session, we are going to be talking about what the top real estate sales professionals are doing to manage their time for highest and best use. Welcome to the 13% Club. Todd's here. Listen, we're gonna do math today. Can't wait. Get your calculators, get your paper out. The very first thing we're going to do is we're gonna sit back and we're gonna figure out our hourly rate. And you'll remember in a previous session, what we did was we went through and said, hey, here's the perfect schedule. If you follow this schedule and you are relentless, you are disciplined, you are committed on all days, not just the easy days, on the cold and dark days, not just the bright and sunny and warm days, all days, you'll make over $250,000. Remember that? And that schedule was baked out for 30.5 hours. So we're going to do some math. You ready? So we want to take 4 weeks off. Yes. Can I get an amen? Yes. 4 weeks. So we have 52 weeks in the year. So we're talking about 48 weeks that we're actually going to work. And if we follow that proven schedule, that's going to be 30.5 hours. So do the math. 48 weeks times 30.5 hours. Drum roll. And the number is 1,464. All right, great. So that's how many hours you are committed to working. Now, can you work more? Sure. But that's the bare minimum that you're going to do. That's the standard. 30.5. I got the schedule. Now, how much money do you want to make? Well, the schedule says that you'll make 250, but maybe you're at 50. Maybe you're at 0, by the way. And you're like, hey, man, listen, if I could just get to 100, that would be amazing. Remember the business plan? We looked at 100. Maybe it's 150. Hey, maybe you're already at 250 and you're like, hey, listen, I'm ready to go to 500. Whatever your number is for the year, take it. So $250,000 divided by 1,464 gives you what? $170 an hour. Got it? Sounds exciting, right? Hey, I make $170 an hour. It's pretty good. Well, not all of you are making $170 an hour. Some of you are making $10 an hour. Some of you are making $20 an hour. And you're like, that's not true. Well, let me prove it to you. See, if you are doing some of the things that don't require you, then the work that you're doing is whatever the value would be. So let me ask it differently. If you're like doing mailings and you're stuffing envelopes, would you pay somebody $170 an hour to do that? Well, of course not. That would be crazy. But that's exactly what you're doing. If your goal is to make 250, you only have so much time. You've only committed. You said, hey, listen, I'm going to do 30.5 hours. So if I take some of those hours and I do $10 an hour work, well, then my hourly rate has to be up higher for the remaining hours. Ouch. Listen, we hear it all. Like, oh, it's outsource, it's delegate, it's automate, it's delete, it's whatever. It doesn't really matter. You just have to understand the concept and you got to start valuing your time at a higher level, because it doesn't work for you to say, hey, listen, I'm going to operate as a $15 an hour person. And then when I make 250, I'll then operate as a $170 an hour person. It doesn't work that way. You actually have to behave, honor your time, invest your time and resources at the level in order to get the return. So I do $170 an hour work, and then I get the return on that, which is $250,000 of value, because that's what I'm here to do. Like, you have to be that person. Okay. So that's the first step of this process, is to understand what your hourly rate is. And then you're going to be disciplined to it. And I'm going to help you with some of the ways of thinking about, like, what are some of the ways that I can outsource and leverage and automate. But here's the thing. I understand if you haven't launched yet in your career, you're at the beginning stages, maybe you haven't gotten into some momentum, that the inclination is to move back and just say, hey, listen, I'm going to just do that myself. I get it. I'm going to implore you to push against that feeling and try to invest in your business. You can cut something out. Stop going to Starbucks. Okay. Instead, invest that in paying somebody to do some of the work that's $15 an hour work, as an example. Right.
Hey guys, sorry for the interruption. I'm going to get you right back to the video, but most of you know me as a real estate broker, or maybe somebody who's built and scaled one of the fastest growing sales organizations in the country. What you may not know is that I also work with other sales professionals and leaders that are looking to grow and scale their businesses and just live badass lives. The one place that I have everybody start, the very first spot, is the lethal scripts for the sales warrior. I'm going to give you one for free today just so that you can get a little taste of what it is that we're doing out there. So click on the link below. We'll send you the information and let's get back to the video.
So what are these? Well, depending on the kind of organization you're with, if you're with a self-serve organization, you're going to have to do these things on your own. If you are with a full service organization, I'm going to beg you not to reinvent the wheel. And I coach a lot of these other companies and I coach a lot of teams that have to go out and do this on their own. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a little dirty secret, and it's called staffing is really hard. It's hard to find them. It's hard to hire them. It's hard to train them. It's hard to fire them. It's hard to do payroll. It's hard to do taxes. It's hard to put benefits together. And listen, it's just an absolute nightmare. So if you are with a full service organization, make sure you leverage them because they're doing it for you. They're making sure that, like, when you lose somebody, that you don't have to pay the price. So leverage them. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. If you don't, you're going to have to reinvent the wheel. But the good news is that you can do it and it's worth every cent of it. Do it anyway. Okay. So what do those look like? Well, listen, there's marketing, there's transaction coordination, there's showing agents, there's doing your websites, there's like go through your business and all of the things, right? Stuff envelopes, even in some cases, knocking on doors, right? Every Door Direct would be an example of that. I've now automated that, or I've outsourced that. But what you're doing is when you go out and you're on a presentation with a buyer or a seller, you're selling your team. Listen to what I just said there. You're selling your team. Two reasons you're doing this. Number one, you're establishing expectations of the client that, hey, listen, I'm going to have some additional people that are going to be working on this transaction with me. And agents come from two camps. There are those agents that are like, no, 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 I can't do that. They want me and only me, and it's just me. And it's me, 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 me. I just disagree. And it's worked out okay for me to disagree and do it differently. Instead, I believe that this is a very complex business. And this is the stakes are extremely high in this business. So when you hire me, you're not just hiring me, you are hiring an entire team of professionals that are committed to creating an exceptional experience for you and your family by delivering truly remarkable service. When you hire me, you get a brand that's got a network that's global. When you hire me, I've got a manager who's in my corner, which means they're in your corner. I've got an agent concierge who's fielding calls and walk-ins and distributing leads and there to support you and I in this journey to get your house sold or help you find a home to buy. I've got a marketing team that's got 5, 10 people on it, and they all have a specialty. I mean, everything from how to generate leads, digital, social media, design, strategy, you name all of these, they're all working for you to execute on delivering the best in the world marketing that gets your property in front of the right people.
Hey, just a quick little interruption. As you know, I work with some of the best sales professionals and leaders who are looking to grow their businesses, build exceptional lives on the planet. And what I'm doing is I'm giving away $50,000 worth of coaching and training absolutely free. All you have to do is enter the drawing below, click on the link, enter your information, tell us just a little bit about you, and you could qualify for $50,000 worth of free coaching and training. Let's get back to the video.
I've got transaction coordinators that know paperwork inside and out. They will make this an absolute seamless experience for both you and me. I've got a mortgage partner that is the person that's going to make sure that if you're a buyer, you get the best rate, the best experience, and best of all, we actually close. If you're a seller, like I've got a mortgage partner that's going to be making sure that if there's a buyer that comes and they get them approved and that they get them to the closing table and that they get them the best rate so you can get the most money in the shortest period of time. I work with a title and a closing company, and this is them. And I'm selling the team. That's the whole point. You've got to honor your time. You've got to do the work that's valued at the level or greater of the hourly rate that you just came up with. And if you will do that and you will stay committed, stay disciplined, stay focused, do it anyway, you know, your 30 and a half hours or your 30 and a half hours to do this job. If you want to do some of that work on the side, get it on the side and say, hey, listen, I'm going to work 35 and a half and 5 of those hours I'm going to spend doing this lower dollar work. Well, that's up to you. If you do the 30 and a half hours that I showed you in the perfect schedule and you honor your hourly rate, in this case, $170 an hour, you'll make over $250,000 a year. That's changing lives for so many people. That puts you in the top 2 or 3% of all earners household, by the way, in the United States of America. That is what real estate sales has in store for you if you will just commit to being part of the 13%. Thanks for being here, and I will see you at the next video.